I am Ann-Peggy Divine. Welcome to the Divine Design, the podcast where we unfold heaven on earth and reframe spirituality and theology for a new cosmic era. Your journey on human evolution and integration of your divine design starts here. As a quiet extension of what I'm sharing here, you may have heard me speak about the architecture series. These books are now available for those who feel ready to go deeper. The architecture of light, the architecture of future medicine, the architecture of the living ethos, the architecture of peace, the architecture of karma, the architecture of sisterhood. Alongside these, 2 trilogy volumes brings the series together. The Architecture of Life, Trilogy 1, and The Architecture of Humanity, Trilogy 2. Each book explores a different aspect of how life organizes itself when survival patterns are no longer in control, and a new architecture begins to emerge. If you feel resonance, you can find them on Lulu and on my websites, divinedesign.it and anpeggydivine.com. Namaste. Welcome, Colin and Kathleen, to this Divine Design podcast.
Yeah, what a surprise.
Yes, hello.
Yeah, we were meeting and talking about life because we are in the mid of June 2026 and we spoke about how fast thing goes. It has speeded up and it's like brrr, it goes so fast, and both of you have felt it and you connect and reflect, and you said, Colin, that there are new energy coming all the time, and maybe you can start saying something about what you and Kathleen have experienced the last month.
Yeah, it's been quite interesting because I mean, none of this gets planned, but it just coincided with Kathleen going, away from home for a while and having some bits of time free. When I'm sitting watching television, so I'm not doing anything particularly in the evening. So her mornings and my evenings sort of married up, and we've been talking. But it's as goes with a lot of the work we do and energy work. We'll just chat. So I think we're only having about 3/4 of an hour, wasn't it? Something like that. And for the first 20 minutes, we'll just blah. And then the next period of it just goes whoosh, and we're taken to wherever we needed to, wherever the energy needs to take us. And it's been fascinating that the opening up to, I guess we're trying to language, we're trying to language it more because where we go energetically hasn't, I don't think humans have been since the beginning. I think we're in new territory. We were chatting about something that Greg Baden said in one of his recent chats on a YouTube, where one of his books is describing all the ancient texts that have been discovered and revisited, kind of thing, and what their revelations suggest is that the original human design was a group of very advanced beings or intelligences or whatever you describe them as, and they come together and thought, oh, let's create a human, and they created it. And we think that they discovered that there's something more powerful that joining together in that way, like a co-creation, became more powerful than even they imagined. So they decided to tweak it down a bit, just to calm it down, because that's letting that loose on in the universe, that might be a bit over the top. And of course, this is all I mean, in a way, this is all conjecture. This is all just interpretation of text and, and taking it. But we found energetically that going there to that place before they decided actually this is too powerful, we went into that place and discovered that human design, if you like. And that's where we've been sort of over the last few days anyway, experimenting with that. So where does that take us then? What is that real? And we feel it is. I mean, it really does feel very
Wow.
powerful.
Wow. I just have to add because I'm so into the energy. I have experienced it practical because I have been into what you describe, and I broke my toe. And normally they say it takes weeks. I broke it and I was still for 2 days. And I did all the right thing, talking to my toe and give it. It was big. It kind of it was, yeah. You know what happened when you broke. But the third day, I went hiking for a long hike, and it is completely okay. And if you Google it and say no, it cannot happen because it takes weeks. Something broken, it will take so long time. But I have been hiking now for 3 days after I broke it. So it's like it has happened. So that is one just practical aspect. What can we do as superhuman, as the new version of us? Because I'm also experimenting, and all the time I do it. I say it needs to be practical. I'm living in a physical body, so I cannot only fly, even though that I love that. And we started with saying everything goes so fast. Me healing my toe went radically fast.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's some of the things we're kind of experimenting with our own bodies, isn't it? We're actually saying, well, actually, my leg's got a little bit of a something going on. Wouldn't it be
Yeah.
nice if this this new human I think the other thing we were talking about, wasn't it, the stem cells, because a lot of people are talking about them becoming more active now, and it's just to say that this design, this the one that hasn't been manipulated in any way but is the purest, let's have that in the stem cells, and let them educate the rest of my body to be the perfect design. Let that happen now, and remove all those thoughts in my mind that it takes time. Like you just described with your toe, is it's is it me that's got the programming that says these things take time?
Yeah.
Because if it is, take that one out and let's just have it happen now.
Yep. Yep.
And I think that's where the and then it goes. I have to report my toe is still a bit funny, so a little bit more programming to remove, maybe.
And it's so synchronicity because I spoke with one man that has pain, and what I actually recommended was stem cell. Use your stem cell to, because this is now we use it in medicine, and it's used more and more and more, and you just mentioned it, so I said that. And even my mother have used stem cell because she have had a lot of pain. They took out her stem cell and put it into the infected place where she had infection and arthrosis and really pain, and then she has been completely fine the last 6 years, no pain. So using stem cell, that's a revolutionary medicine.
Mm. So what if we can do
Yeah.
it without somebody intervening? What if we can persuade our stem cells to move to the location,
Yes.
or the program that they're carrying to just transmit into the cells? However that works. I mean,
And
So that's
actually, you put name on what I did because I remember when I had a lot of pain several years ago and I healed myself and I asked what happened, what did I do? Because I did something even though I didn't understand it many years ago. So I did the same. And it is actually, when you talk about it, even though we don't have words for it, it is actually the stem cell that helps us. So we can,
yeah.
because our mind, everything is mind if we go to the absolute kind of. And with our mind, we can radically heal.
Well, it's funny because the other aspect to this that came up in one of the calls that we have with Solera, this she's eaten a lot of very chocolatey, chocolate, like 80% cocoa or whatever, And I've been eating 70%, and Kathleen's been eating chocolate. It's like, why am I eating chocolate? But apparently there's a link between the chocolate and stem cell production. There's a, I didn't know that. I just thought, chocolate. So I put on a bit of weight as a result. So that's not there. That we need to put a line under chocolate at the moment. But yeah, it's funny the things that are required come into your field, and you don't even know I suddenly had an appetite for,
Chocolate. I eat almost every day 86% dark chocolate. So it's kind of so I do it the same.
so there we are. We're on the same page there.
Have you what have you experienced, Kathleen? Where is kind of you in all of this?
Yeah, so for me, it's basically what Colin's been saying. And yeah, for me, I suppose it's been happening. It's a lot more in the energetics and in the field that I sort of feel, sense things. I'm not noticing it in my physical life. Um, but then there's a feeling that a lot of things are changing within me,
Yeah.
within my field, within me, and especially the last couple of days. Um, and a lot of people are talking about this as well, that this is going on. Um, so yeah, I mean, it's fascinating. And for me, I quite often get taken to layers of distortion, so, and then something will happen around that, or my attention needs to go to it, and I see what gets uncreated in these fields of distortion. Um, yeah, which is, I mean, it's the the purity, the origination of us as beings is so simple, really,
Yeah.
and you sort of think, to connect with that, that origination, kind of like blueprint, if you want to call it that, and who we are today. It should be so simple, but we're all different. And so there's all sorts of different layers in between. So quite often when Colin and I tune into something's going on, he'll come at it from one angle and I'm coming at it from the other angle, but we meet in the same place. So he might be coming from the inside and I'm from the outside, or vice versa, or he's talking, seeing and experiencing something completely different to what I'm experiencing, and then it's the same thing. It comes together at that same point. And I think it's about, I mean, as we know, there's so much happening and
Yeah.
so much coming in. And it's just being the present, to be the vehicle and to be the witnesser sometimes of it being able to come through and ground into us, into earth, but into the field and into the consciousness field.
Yeah.
So yeah.
In listening to you, I was because I have done several regression therapy the last weeks, and I know that both of you have written several books and gone to courses. So I don't know if you have reflected on it, but that was kind of what came to me because we did a regression. I said, "Would you try doing regression?" Do you remember, Kathleen?
Yes.
Can you put words on what is the difference between doing regression and reading a book? Have you thought about it?
No, I haven't thought about it.
Because you are so good at doing regression because you let your body do its thing. So you don't because what some of us is kind of stopping us, but you let your body do its thing. So you are a natural kind of because you just follow the body and it's doing all the right things kind of.
Yeah, so the difference between kind of regression type of thing, or doing my own thing, and reading a book, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I suppose reading a book it's someone else's
Yeah.
viewpoint, or someone, it's come from someone else. And I don't read a lot of books, but I do read, or I listen to YouTubes and things like that, because there'll be something in them that then triggers not triggers.
It triggers in a positive way, kind of
Yes, in a positive way. It kind of like opens the door and you think, wow, that's interesting. I hadn't thought of it like that before.
Yeah.
Or, just the way they describe it. And then you can, then you go further and go further and go further, or whatever. Or it kind of clicks something into place that you'd kind of like experienced or heard from someone else. So, but with the doing your own thing, like the regression or doing your own thing, it's you. I mean, it's completely your journey, and it's coming through you. For me, it comes through me. So I see it, and then I get shown it. It's like it comes up and I get shown it. So it's completely me. Excuse me. Completely me, or through me. Yeah. Yeah.
I think that sums up how we communicate as well. Is that we're both coming from that place when we touch it together, and that I think that's what is so powerful when when two or three. I mean, my last Celestial Alchemy call was just Lena and Lynn and myself, and the power was astonishing. I mean, it just and we were just chatting. It was just tuned in every now and again, and just wow. So I think it's where we're coming from
Yeah.
in that place. And whatever, I don't know, that's what Kathleen and I recognized one another, if you like, without knowing wow, where we come from.
Yeah.
It's just, we still haven't described it because we're still finding it further and further out in our understanding. But it's always here. We've brought it with us, and I think that's the key. I find and it's what you've said is I need it in my body now.
Yeah.
I need to be this.
Yeah.
I need to be radiating it. I need it to be creating my reality. I need it to be healing my body. I need to be this now.
Yeah.
And the only word there that I keep correcting myself about is I need to there is I am, because and we find ourselves doing that, don't we? When
Yeah.
I
Yeah. Yeah.
when I'm a bit more, blah, I'll be. And it's like, what if you're it now? And the only thing that's stopping you being it is the program that's described it as not yet.
Yep.
But having said that, we do get to points, don't we, where we're sort of filled with all this, and then there's this voice somewhere going, ah, yes, and there's more. So you think, oh well,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But anyway, yeah, I think that that's where the acceleration is, and the other part of it, I think, is when we see one another, and I think you said, Kathleen, that witness. There's a witness of that, and
Yeah.
when the witness is in two directions, again, it's like it really opens up because you've been seen,
Yeah.
and you're confident enough to let yourself be seen. There's a sort of you've kind of removed the brakes, or you're just saying, okay, yeah, it's safe for me to be seen now,
Yeah.
and I'm okay with that, and I think that's another parameter, if you like, of letting go of our perceived blocks or notions of hiding.
Yeah.
'Cause that's a big one. I think we keep finding these blocks where there's another part of us that's in cement or in a cage, or and it's like, what are you doing in there? Come on, you can come out now. But I think the more we go up, the more these deeper layers are being revealed, like you've just described in your books, Peggy.
Yep.
You've really got to go down now if you want to go up.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and it doesn't
But
have to be unpleasant. It's just that the stuff's got to go.
yeah. But it is also fascinating because when I contacted you, I was guided contact Colin, and it was in the end of 2024. And I had no idea what it was, but when we met, every time we met, Christ consciousness came through us. And I have never met anyone that every time I meet, Christ consciousness come true. But that happens for us all the time. It's like, wow, and both of us kind of in tears. Wow, this is so amazing. So that was also with the witnessing, as you said. But that was a new experience, because even though I had studied theology and all this, I didn't feel the Christ consciousness. But with you, I felt it. So that was the embodiment. And when I studied, it was kind of more intellectual. But meeting you, it was like, oh, it is here. We embody it. It's here.
Yeah. And that's fascinating actually, because I mean, we've been doing this stuff for and however many years, but it's what I noticed, and this came up in a conversation recently, was that when I'm out now, I people will look at me that I don't know them, but they'll just glance, and you see them in their face. There's a sort of oh, and it's like they've seen me but not seen me. Do you know what I mean?
I understand.
The me they've seen is this, this sort of mega being walking around. Here, look at me. But I'm not, that's not what I'm doing. I'm just literally walking down the street. I'm just me walking down the street. But there's something changed. Something's, you know, quite radical has changed that people spot it, but they don't know what they've seen.
Yeah.
But, it's just, and I just clocked it. And then somebody on one of the calls said, oh, yeah, that's happening to me. And I think, yes. That's how it's happening. That's how we're influencing that, and it's almost like if you do nothing else but just be this, it's going to ripple out. It's just the change is going to happen.
Yeah. That's the book I'm on now, The Universal Christ. All of us, because it's not about religion. The Universal Christ is kind of, it was what I felt with you. It is no religion. It is kind of the openness, the multi-dimensional being of us, what we are all invited into. So it's kind of, this is a period that all can go into it. So that's why it is so many. Have you heard about the book of Richard Rohr? He actually have written a book about the Universal Christ.
The name doesn't ring a bell.
Yeah, because he's a priest. He had worked as a priest for 5 years. He's 83 now, but the book, wow! I don't read so much book. I have written 2 books: Elvis book and Richard. So I have written this year, except myself, my own books. I have written Elvis book because I was guided into that, and also Richard Rohr because I was also guided that he holds the same foundation that I want to in this Christ consciousness book. So that's the 2 books that I have read in this 2026.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And what I'm feeling this time is about too is it's about expressing. For me, that comes through a lot. And it's what you were both sort of saying. We are that anyway. And when we can be in that space, and remember that we are that anyway, it's about expressing, it's about allowing it to express.
Yeah.
So allowing that we are that Christ consciousness, or the God streams, or whatever it is, it's just allowing it to express. And that's what I'm finding I'm being called to do. Yeah. And I forget, you kind of forget, you get stuck in something else, and it's like, oh yeah, that's right. Because that, it's like the energy comes from that deep within, or wherever it comes from place. And it just takes care of everything that's in the pathway, any obstacles that are in the pathway anyway. So yeah, that's the other big thing I feel has shifted in the last, for me anyway, in the last few weeks, probably a couple of months, is allowing it to express.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's almost like there is a permission required. I think a lot of people say about, the higher selves, or the beings that are helping, they won't interfere unless we say, could you please, And I think it was in our chat earlier, the idea that my body needs to ask, or at least I need to ask my body's permission. What do you think? Do you want all this lovely energy? Shall we do this together? And I could then sense my body going, yeah, of course. Yeah, that's what we're here for. Yeah. What else would we be doing? But without that, almost like, communication with the field that we're calling our body, um, which has its own intelligence, as you were describing earlier.
Yeah.
It's you're just going ahead saying, yes, I want this for my body, without going, hey, is this good for you? Do you want this now? And I think that was it's kind of like almost like a sense check, making sure that, yeah, well, we're in the right place. Yeah, I've had my chocolate. We're all ready.
Yeah. Yeah. And you point me back to my breaking my toe, because I felt it when it happened, because I went barefoot. It's hot here in the northern part of Norway, and it has been almost tropic warm. So I went up hiking, and it was in the beginning, it's like, oh, and I asked, why does this happen? I don't need to break something. But at first I thought it cannot be broken. I thought first, it's like, but I felt it, but it's like, okay, I will go to the top. And I went to the top and down, and then the toe bigger, 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 bigger. And it was like, because I felt the experience, but also I learned so much about healing, because actually when my toe started to heal, I put ice on it, and I put this gelée on it so it wouldn't hurt so much. And actually what happened, I felt it in the opposite toe and in my finger that represented the same. And it's like, wow, my body is really synchronizing and working in the totality. So I felt it in the finger and the other toe that is the same kind of systems as the toe. And I was kind of, wow, this is amazing what the body is doing. So I felt the healing, and I felt and also when it healed so radical, because I put ice in it and it was so intense, then I said, oh, this healing is so intense, it's too fast. So I put off the ice because it went so fast, and then it actually was painful for that toe, even though the other toe and the other finger took it. And just being in this healing, I learned so much from broken a toe and just sensing in what my body do natural when this happened. It is so amazing to just go inward and, what are you doing? You are so intelligent. This body, wow, it is so intelligent. So all this, the first day after I broke the toe and just starting to healing because it was so painful, and then, wow, yeah. That's what we are talking about, how fast things can go. And I went out of, it has to take 3 weeks, but I thought, okay, maybe I have to be still for a period, but I wanted to go fast. And it did go fast.
Yeah, it's incredible, isn't it? And as you say, to kind of experience what's going on in your system and the different systems of your body,
Yeah.
and how they're all supporting. It's like, yeah, they've all been called in to kind of like, hey, we've got a job here to do. Everyone, how can you contribute?
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Yeah.
I love that too, because you see a lot of posts I do on my feed. They've obviously tuned into things I read, and there's all these med bed things. It'll be all right. We're building all these med beds on the moon now, and soon they'll be available to you. You can grow your new limbs. Or it's all fabulous, and it's almost like that's the sort of drawing people's attention into something else is going to fix me again.
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah.
current medical profession, the oh, take this, it'll help you. It's almost like taking you away from your natural healing ability
Yeah.
again, but by another means, So, oh, over here, it's like, no, no, not over there. It's in here already. We're inherently self-healing,
Yeah.
our bodies are designed that way. So we've just put a limit on what we think it's capable of.
Yeah.
But with these new energies and with the new, our new way of understanding, perhaps we can initiate our stem cells and other, magical seemingly ways that our body already knows how to do it. We've got the blueprint, and I'm fascinated the way you said your other fingers and your other toe, so you're almost like communicating, like, yeah, oh yeah, 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 let's get this sorted. That's fascinating how that works.
Yeah, it was so. I'm so glad that I broke my toe. Even though it's like, okay, yeah, because the experience, it was only for a day. I broke it one day, and all the other day I was on the sofa. All my family went hiking. It's like, oh, I have to stay home. But all the experience, and I felt my body. It was like, wow, this is really something. So yeah, it's so to take it down to practical life, because experimenting with our body, and I love what you say, because medbed is kind of, yeah, we need something external. No, all what we, this body, this wow instrument, it is the most advanced technology of all.
Mm. Yeah. So when we couple it with this amazing energy that we're finding is available now,
Yeah, yeah,
that again was always available, but yeah, we're
yeah,
just tuning in now. I think that's that's where the acceleration I think is gonna show itself. And it is, yeah. I mean, I have to say though, I mean, I think it was after one of our sessions, Kathleen, I mean, normally I sleep quite, peacefully. I wake up every now and again, but it's not. I just go back to sleep again. But the one of the nights I just couldn't sleep. I was up, I was pacing around, trying to get, my nose was all blocked, and you're thinking, no, did I take on too much energy? What's going on? What's going on? And it was buzzing, really, but I think that, the body will do what it needs to do, and basically it was balancing it all out. It was a big energy shift that we experienced, but the body knew what to do. And sleeping wasn't. I wasn't tired the following day. It wasn't. I think we see sleeping as essential as well, but sometimes maybe you don't, because you do that all the time, don't you, Ann-Peggy? You go with whatever the day brings.
yeah. And here in Lingen, now it's the last day in Lingen. Then I will be 3 months in the normal system, working with health and all my, every day I will work 13 hours in health system. So it's kind of going into that system, but it will be interesting. It will be very interesting, just because I only need to be me as we normally are, but to hold the light, because when we are what we are, where we come from, I see that my surroundings naturally heal because we are holding it. So the more of us are holding it, the more the surroundings heal. So yeah, I'm sure that I experience very often miracle around me. Just wow, that hasn't happened. That hasn't happened. And even though I know that I will work with very sick people, I know, and also people that are supposed to go over. Yeah, it can go over in a peaceful way.
Mm.
So
Yeah, yeah, that's good. Because I think we are influencing our environment more than we think as well. Because there's another thing that came to me this week was looking at, I think it was something Kathleen and I were talking about, because we get really annoyed about the the clouds, the manufacturing, the clouds, all these planes going across with all these crisscross, chemtrails and stuff, and we get really, and so how to look at that from a different place that actually, yeah, well, if we're creating everything, then we've created that as well. Let's go to another place and have another look at how we view it, and I was practicing that while I was out, just because I just walk up to town to get some coffees and bring them back. And while I was standing in the coffee shop, Costa, just imagining then what. Okay, so I've created all of this. How does that feel? How do I feel with it? And
yeah,
I just felt myself in every cell of every desk, the coffee machine, the people working there. Just felt the God, if you like, the Christ consciousness, whatever that is, in everything. And my relationship with it changed instantly. I was part of the whole, and it was part of me. And I was consciously creating. From that moment, yeah, I'm choking up now. I was consciously creating. And from there, yeah, I think there's a level of acceptance that we already were creating, and what we see what we are observing is what we've created. And from this moment on, now we understand that we can create what we actually want, what we've, what this flow wants.
Yeah.
It's not what this guy wants. It's what, what the intelligent flow of all that is wants.
Yeah.
And so when I made that connection, I just felt it shift. Because I was imagining, like sometimes I imagine some of the crystal temples that people say they've been to visit, and
Yeah.
certainly when we were reading the Koldas book, where the architects are wandering through their, temples and stuff, and there's all amazing technology, and I feel myself there, and I imagine walking along, seeing all these temples and things, and that's my vision of the future, if you like, is that's how it'll be. All these wonderful buildings that are sympathetic with their surroundings. They're intelligent. They've got a life force of their own, and everything is aligned with the best possible outcome. And you look at that, and you imagine that to be the future. But what if I bring that energy of having created all that amazing technology, bring that back now, and just allow that to feed through me into the now, into that coffee machine, into that, into my computer, into this conversation, just let all of that be now, and let that Christ. Yeah, I mean, that's a big flow, isn't it?
Yeah, and Colin, when you say that, I just want to ask because you have read the sister book, because that also want to describe, but maybe it didn't. Maybe it didn't. I haven't read the Koldas because you said you went into it like the temples and all. And I know that in the sister book, I want to describe our future. What is the difference between Koldas and the sister book? Even though I just think about the description because you went into it. How do you go into it differently, or yeah?
Yeah, I think I think it must be a personal thing to some extent.
Yeah.
Um, but it's happened to me with other people as well. So there's a lady called Aluna Joy Yakising who goes to the Egyptian temples, and she writes about her journeys there, and she describes herself walking through these caverns and how the energy is working, and the experience she's having. And I'm right there. I'm right stood there. Yeah, here I am. I'm right there with her. I
Yeah.
absolutely am there, you know. And just by her stimulating that memory, if you like, or whatever that was. So it's and so yeah. So reading that book with and the word stimulated me was architect. Suddenly, I know I'm an architect. I know I'm of that, whatever that is.
Yeah.
So I think it's dependent upon, a lot of it anyway. A lot of your writing stimulates that in me as well. When I'm reading it. So but it might be a different thing that it needs to stimulate. It might be a different perception. Um,
But
So yeah,
what I hear you say that like, if we share an experiment, it kind of this is when we go in detail describing it, then we can resonate with it. Then we go into it together with the author, kind of.
yeah, yeah,
Mm.
definitely. And of course, those people who are writing it, like you write, they're writing it from that place. They're right. The flow is they're a vehicle for that. And her writings, it really is. I tune in straight away. I've not met her, but I seem to feel as if I know her, and I think that's one of the things when you recognize, one of your tribe, or somebody on the same wavelength, whatever you like to describe. Like when we met,
Yeah.
the same thing. There's something. What is it that draws together? And it's this consciousness, this what it wants to be expressed. We see it in each other, and that's again, I think when we're talking about co-creation and we're all coming from the same frequency, and coherence. You've used that in your book as well. I mean, I was reading about that in other people's books as well, and think coherence. Yeah, it's coherence. That's what this is, and it all just you feel it click. And again, it's a very personal experience, and I think everyone, like we've when we're chatting, Kathleen and I, we're coming in it from totally different, we're tuned into the same energy, but we seem to be flying in from totally different places. But then when finally we come to a point where we're in the same place, and the whole thing, whatever that was, turns out and resolves.
Yeah.
It just, yeah, there we are. Ah, yeah, that's why we're having this conversation. And
That's
it's
what
always in the last 30 seconds.
yeah, and what you described, that is what it has shown me. That is the Christ consciousness, or we can call it the Tao. And in all tradition, you find a word for it, or the everything, the I am, or kind of the I am. And we meet in the middle because we can be it all. Because we know that, oh, you are a part, you hold a part of the same experience as me, but you have your body, I have my body, and then we meet.
That's it,
Mm.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I think it's,
sorry.
I was just going to say it triggers a lot of time, it triggers a remembering as well. So it'd be something someone writes, because they're writing from that place, it's coming from that place. So then that just sparks the remembering anew, and then that opens up a whole pile of files, within the person. But we've all come on different pathways to where we are today. So we may have all remembered each other and been in a place or an energy or a field or whatever, but we've all come a different pathway from there. So I find that fascinating,
Yeah.
how we kind of unravel ourselves to come back to who we are, because we've all come a different pathway to get to who we've been playing, let's say, to come back to who we really are. So yeah, the remembering, it can just be one thing, can't it? That like the Cold Ass book for me was too. It was like, oh yeah, I know this. And then it's like, boom, it just opens up a whole pile of other stuff, you know.
Yeah, and I remember you said that, both of you said it, because both of you have written all the six first book that came through me. And you were chatting almost every day, and it opened something new, and you had a dialogue between you because, wow, that opened that in me. So, because you read it in the same period, something deeper could happen because you spoke it also.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. First book in particular was yeah, that was yeah, that just it was a remembering, and it was
Yeah,
just opening files, opening files, opening
yeah,
files. Um, and also explaining, like putting words to something that hadn't been explained before. It was putting words to something that didn't have words before. Um, yeah, and I found that quite phenomenal.
Mm.
but I'm just thinking about, because the last two books we haven't spoken about it so much, the karma and the sisterhood, and that is more in the future, because the other books is kind of what is already here, what we do kind of. But the karma book and the sister book is more about the future. How do we see karma in a different way if you just don't see it as all this karmic burden that we carry, but we can use it as another, as you have written the book, and also the sisterhood book that show how we can organize our civilization in another way. It's a
Yeah.
different shift there. How did you experience that shift from kind of that's what we do, but also writing more about the future?
I
I
think, oh, you go ahead.
yeah, you go, Colin.
I was going to say that I think that's our challenge now is because a lot of people are trying to express it. Solera had their first memorocracy call yesterday that I took part in. And she's described, she's trying to do the same. She's trying to describe how do we organize ourselves as humans for this next way of being. And she's describing it as the memorocracy, the way the starlings just all move as one. How does that work in a social context?
Yep.
And how do we tap into that energy together to get to that point where we're all working together, but none of us are consciously leading, or but we do what we need to do. And it's interesting because I said to her, we're already doing that because you're you leading your group I've met people like Ann-Peggy, like Kathleen, and others,
Yeah.
and we've then spun off to do other things.
Yeah.
And we might come back, we might not, but that was the whole point of coming together, then to, and you identify who it is, what it is, and you go off and do it, sort of thing. It feels like that's the dynamic now. It's a lot looser. There's not, the structures are there, but they're more fluid, and you go, when you're flowing with them, they appear,
Yep.
as it were. So your idea of doing podcasts never entered my head that I'd end up being on podcasts. What would I be talking about? But that was the other part of it, was letting go of the idea that I actually know what's coming, that give myself permission to just talk in the flow. And that's been a real, like, yeah, how Mr. PowerPoint himself, who has researched and created far too many slides just in case, so that I'm prepared for everything. And whatever anybody asks me, I've got to, oh yeah, I've done that. Yeah. Now it's like somebody asked me, oh, don't know, let's tune in, find out. It's like, that's totally out of character for where I've been, to get me to this point. And Solera actually said that when she gave us permission to have the other calls, but through some of her groups, that was quite a thing. She had to put away the idea of having to keep, corral it herself, to keep control of the aspects of what she was doing. And so that sort of opened up a new opportunity to look at the way things get organized. Is not to hold on to the original thought too hard,
Yep.
because it's going to go
Yep.
wherever it needs to go. And I think we just need to just allow that. So I haven't read the whole sisterhood book yet. I've got stalled on. I've got about 4 books where I'm stalled, but that's not because I'm just using my time in other areas. That's all. But yeah, I will read it. I was thinking about the brotherhood. I was thinking, well, where's the brotherhood in this? Perhaps that's my book. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. And even though sisterhood can also be brotherhood, but to have it from a masculine way, it will be beneficial, I think, because I'm so we bring a little bit of ourselves in, of course.
Yeah.
Kathleen, have you read the whole book? Maybe not.
No, I haven't. No. So no, I can't comment at this stage. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's funny that, because when when you sent them through, I was thinking, oh, I got to do this. I've got to do this. And then I saw your most recent podcast. You were talking to somebody, and you've put your little advert into your introduction to your books, and your sisterhood books there. So you're obviously confident enough to let it go. So that's fine. I haven't delayed you in anything.
No, I haven't published it. But it will come. But it was like, okay, just do it, because it feels like it is done. I'm already in the energy. It is done. So it's kind of the sisterhood and the karmic book, they are done. Even though I haven't. So I will. Even though the karmic book is totally, I can put it into print, but it was kind of a guiding. Do them together. Publish them together. So I will wait, even though the karmic is totally finished, because I have had someone ask, I want to buy it, and I said, well, I cannot put it out until the sister book is finished. It's just feel that they need to be published together, even though they be published as separate books. They are connected.
Mm-hmm.
So
well, I'll have to give it a bit more time then and get it finished. Yeah.
Yeah. And also we have, what I also have experienced, like we have all the time in the world, even though it is speeding up. I at the same time, it's like, well, I have all the time in the world. So it's kind of a paradox. Things are speeding up, and at the same time I feel that, oh, I have all the time in the world. So it's kind of a paradox of living with speeding up at the same time that, well, I don't need to do everything right now, because sometimes it feels overwhelming because it comes so much. I open, it's like, oh. But so it's like I'm reminded I have all the time in the world, at the same time thing is going fast. So that's a paradox.
Yeah.
Because we was talking about the body, and I have been guided listening to my body when it healed that I needed some minerals. So I don't know if you, because when I communicate with my body, it's like it's saying to me, you need more of this mineral, you need more on that. So I just added new minerals. So as I said, going into the practical, listening to what does the body need. And one of the mineral it has said, and I haven't been so much into it, it's silica. You know about silica?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
familiar with it in what it does, but
It was kind of saying that we are now so high in frequency and we need more silica. The silica is kind of a carrier of light or something. I haven't gone fully into it, but I just know that my body is craving silica. So I'm trying to what food do give me silica? So all the time when it's kind of into the practical life. So also to support this body because it's so wise, it's communicating with us all the time.
yeah. I think it's funny that because what popped into my mind was that I've recently introduced some new I think I don't know if silica's in it, but just about every other mineral seems to be in it. But I went to the optician recently, and she noticed something at the back of my eye that had occurred when I was very, very stressed, but healed. It distorts the vision, and it can self-heal, which it had done. But she just noticed at beginning, and there was something distorting my vision in my left eye. And she said, "Oh, you want to take these?" And it was some multivitamin thing. She said that'll help a great deal. And it's almost like my body's hasn't got the direct channel yet. So it's gone via my optician to say, "Here's some vitamins you need. Take these." It's sort of. So I think I don't. I'm saying this, but I'm allowing. Yes, my body. You can communicate with me more directly if you like. But up till now, I clearly haven't been listening. But it finds that it finds a way of doing it anyway. So here I've got
Yeah.
these vitamins. I take some for my gums that have been taken for years, that's got so many vitamins in. And so these combined, I'm okay, I think. So, but yeah, I think it's right. The body will tell you what it needs. And the chocolate was a good example. I haven't been eating,
Yeah.
I haven't eaten chocolate for years. I've been on a sort of mustn't go there, because I put so much weight on when I'm eating it. And it's sort of like suddenly I need to eat some chocolate. And then this Solaire saying, "Oh, stem cells." So that's why I'm eating chocolate. And thinking, well, it could be, that could be it.
Yeah, but to listen, as you say, doctors and also professional, can also give us a sign. And I had have a lot of doctors said you have to come to a check because we are checking our health because we have an amazing health system. And I went this Friday. I was to this. We are supposed to do it. I don't know every other week year about the uterus and the gynecologic and I thought, okay, I need to go to it. And I hadn't been there since 2009. And the doctor said, you haven't been here since 2009. And I said, well, I didn't feel like I needed. But at the same time, I was there for 5 minutes. It's like, oh, everything is okay. But it was kind of interesting. They said, you are so rare at the doctors. And I feel into my body. So I think if we know our body, we don't need all this check. But I did it because it was, 17 years. So it was kind of, okay, I can do it just because they send a lot of, you have a hour. So we are taken care of from the government and they kind of say what we are supposed to do. And that's amazing. But we also, back to what we said, this is so intelligent. So if we listen to it, we know. So, and he just confirmed everything is okay. But at the same time, it kind of, yeah. And I would have been here earlier if something wouldn't have been okay because I listened. But most people do not listen to their body.
That's true. And
So,
they think that whatever they take is going to fix them.
Yeah.
Carry on living as they were before. Sorry, Kathleen.
I was just going to say, there's people too who can come across people who don't take any vitamins or minerals. The body produces it, so they sense that they're needing it. Yeah, if they feel they need something specific, they talk to their body and kind of go, okay, what's happening here? Because it's not being produced, type of thing. And how can I support you in producing this specific vitamin or mineral that you require? And it's like, oh, that would be fabulous, getting to that point, because the body is able to do all of that.
Yeah.
And
when you mentioned, yeah.
I was going to say, in the energies, that the greater field of us is able to work with the body to kind of like produce everything that we need. So, yeah, I mean, the future, when we get to that point where that's all just a beautiful, harmonious, integrated system, and it's all just self-regulating and regenerating on a greater level than it is at the moment. I mean, how awesome is that going to be? You look at what's going on in the world too. I think it's going to have to go that way, but too, because the healthcare and everything's so expensive. So many people can't afford, like healthcare. And yes, there's a government system, but if you want anything done, you've got to go private, but you've got to have the money to go private. So people, it's like on one level, it's being made unaffordable, and then the opportunities there seems to be there for us to kind of like really bring forward the body's natural ability to heal. So
yeah, I agree with what you said. It's kind of because the body can start all of that, but at the same time, maybe it's my thought that say, well, because what I have experienced is like Mother Earth is providing us with everything. So when we listen to her, she is kind of in balance. If she is clean, she is in balance. And it's like, because when I know how kind of silica I take it, it is because I listen to my body, I listen to Mother Earth, because it is kind of balanced. So my thought, I don't say that these thoughts are right, is that sometimes I need to take extra, like silica, not I want it to be kind of, I just can be in my thought and say that my body is supposed to produce it itself. But my experience is that I need to listen, because Mother Earth and my surroundings tell me what I need. Even though my mind can do a lot, it's kind of also a relationship with Mother Earth over kind of, because everything wants balance. And Mother Earth provides us with this balance if we just listen. So for me, it is more like that. Even though I want, like, okay, I just go into my mind and say to my body, produce this. For me, the link is that I need to listen to Mother Earth, and need to listen because all the flowers around here, they are holding like what we call it, I don't remember the name, but it gives me a lot of the herbs I need. So kind of our surroundings is talking to us all the time. So for me, it is more like that.
Yeah. And yeah, I agree with that. I'm not there at the moment where I can kind of go, oh yeah, let's produce this, let's produce that. But that's the way we're evolving and the way that we're heading, And yes, absolutely, you've got to listen to what's around you at the moment and what the messages. And I'll quite often in the morning just muscle test and just sort of see, or I feel into it, and just go, do I need it today? No, I don't. I'm asking the body, no, I don't need that today, but yeah, that will be good, Yeah. You go.
Yeah, I just to add too, because I had prepared this, I will take this morning. I was supposed to give my body garlic. But when I woke up, no, my body didn't want garlic. It wanted silica and this tea. It's like, so it's like I thought that this will be good for me. But then when I tune into my body has another language than my programmed mind. I mean, even though we know that garlic is good for our body in some, but my body said, no, that's not what I need today. Just like you say, so kind of tune into the intelligence that is talking to us all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Because taking the same thing every day may not be required. You know, the body may wish to have that. So yeah, it is. It's another level of communication, isn't it? And relationship.
Yeah. Wow, I think we have spoken an hour, and I'm fascinated where it went. It kind of into the body, the Christ consciousness. And are there any last thoughts you want to share before we close it up?
No, I don't think so. I think the actual fact that we've come together to talk about this has brought it into, not just a conversation, but an energetic flow.
Yeah.
That we've jointly brought in, and I think that's probably why we met, and that's why we've had the conversation. Often the words carry energy as well, and the weave we've just done, I think, has brought that in, and people will watch it and get their awareness, but I think they'll also feel something that may awaken in themselves. That yeah, that's that word triggered me. I think I'll go off and do that, or I'll find out more about that. Yeah. So I think it's always useful, isn't it? The conversation, although unstructured, I think there's always something useful comes out of it.
Yeah. And New Zealand, Norway, UK, we kind of.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I've just got an image. I've just got a sense of something coming in, like coming through or available to come through. It's just sort of like an energy coming in and then coming down to a point, like through us, through everyone watching, and just earthing, just coming down. So beautiful kind of like energy. Seems to be actually, I don't know what it is. I was going to say it seems to be a very integrating energy, and but with a lot of new in it too. So yeah, I'm kind of getting surprises. Yeah. Nice surprises. Yeah, nice surprises coming as well. Yeah. So I think this next few months are going to be very fascinating in a positive way.
Yeah. I feel it. Thank you so much, both of you. Love you so much, both.
And you. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Divine Design podcast with Ann-Peggy Divine. Join us next Sunday for another Heaven on Earth unfolding conversation. With grace, reverence, and unity, may the path of your divine design light the way. From the divine in us to the divine in you.